I'm Kev. I'm a lecturer at the college, and I specialise in electronic music, recording bands, using Logic, DJing, tool management, live sound, playing drums. That'll do for the minute, I think.
What would you say your biggest career in music has been so far?
Biggest career? Probably teaching. That wasn't the plan.
Okay.
I came here as a student and I was a technician, a bit like Steve is now.
Okay.
And then I worked in the background in studios, live sound, DJing, all of those things. And then this teaching thing popped up and would you like a job teaching? And I was like, absolutely not. And here I am.
Okay.
After a few conversations, I thought, yeah, let's give it a go. It was a bit nice to give something back, nice to try and inspire a few people, lead them on the way. The college is that kind of bit between school and the real world, you know. It's kind of like, look, let's introduce you to some stuff, see what you pick up on, that kind of thing.
Okay. So you like introducing people to music?
I think so, yeah.
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 So when did you first get into music?
So that would have been, it was always around. I used to do things on stage and stuff. Maybe I shouldn't say that on camera, but sure enough. And I was always on stage thinking, what does that sound person do? What does that lighting person do? And then when I went to school, I had a really forward-thinking music teacher at the time that hopefully I've taken some influence from and was introducing me to new technologies.
Yeah.
So I would have been at school, year 8, year 9, that kind of thing. Realising that electronic music was a thing, and there were samplers and mixing desks. There were keyboards to play on, drum machines, not like software now.
Yeah.
And I was starting to hear electronic music from acts like The Prodigy, things like that. And I was thinking, how do I do that? So I guess that's where I got into it. So it was a music teacher at school.
Okay. So you got influenced and it kind of brought you in. And then you thought, I kind of want to do that and have a little look at it.
Yeah. Shout out John Gleddle.
That's interesting.
If you see this, thanks. It's your fault.
What instrument would you say is your favourite to play?
To play, it's drums. I am a drummer.
Okay.
I'm hopeless on guitar and bass, and I can only do a few chords. So it's drums, yeah.
Okay.
But that's that rhythm thing. That's that whole kind of percussion.
Yeah.
Groove, all that kind of thing that I'm into.
What would you say your least favourite instrument would be?
Oh, least favourite. That's a tough one. Least favourite to play.
To play.
Oh, guitar. Yeah, I can't do that. I
Too
really
many
admire
strings.
great players that can. I've just never been able to put the time into it.
Yeah.
Guitar takes time.
You got to learn all the
I've got
kick
guitar
strings
rigs and stuff in my studio and things like that, but not. Yeah, I've not been very good at learning it.
Yeah.
I've had intentions of several times, but yeah.
Look at it, think, oh, too many strings.
Yeah, maybe it's just that's a lot of learning, hand positions, things like that. It's just
It's loads of chords.
And I'm still trying to get better at drums. So
Okay.
Try and specialise in one maybe.
Specialise in one, teach that.
Yeah.
And you've got better understanding of how
I
to
think
teach
so.
it.
I believe so.
So when you got into music,
Yep.
was it the same taste which you had back then, which you have now, or were you like going towards different tastes?
Back then, it was electronic music, the whole rave, hardcore scene, jungle, drum and bass was all new.
Okay.
So that took everything. I was like, yeah, here it is. This is what I want to do. I was aware of like rock bands and things and playing in, because I was dabbling with drums back then a little bit. There was an interest. I was always looking over the fence at it going, I'll be back, but I just want to work on this electronic music for a bit first. So it was all about making noise with machines. Maybe it was the not being able to play so well that was drawing me into production.
Yeah.
But the taste has stayed. Yeah, I'm still heavily into my electronic music, but I like all the other stuff as well, So genuinely, I like all of it.
Yeah.
Some more than others.
So you were talking about your studio a minute ago.
Yep.
Do you do a specific kind of music, or do you do all sorts, mastering, mixing, making?
I mix and master for all styles of music.
Okay.
But I tend to have a bit of a name for electronic music in the scene. you know, this is not a dig. There's lots of other studios in the area that can do
Yeah.
the band thing as well and all that. And I fully support them, and I master their tracks and all that. So they've got nicer spaces perhaps. So we all are taking a bit of the industry, and we can all have a bit. I've just steered slightly towards the electronic music to have a different angle in town. You know?
Okay.
There are other studios in town. Electronic music are phenomenal as well. I think it's not about competing with these places.
It's about working together.
It's about working with them and giving artists different space to experiment with. I'm never offended if someone comes along and then they don't come back.
Yeah.
Or they're also welcome if they do. You know, it's that kind of thing. I don't know. I think that answers that.
Yeah. Giving a space for experimentation.
Yeah.
Artists can see what type they like.
Yeah, it's important. I'm always like, go and try the other studios. You must do that. You know, I'm not the only place.
Because you can get like different vibes from different studios, and that can bring on different creative thoughts.
Yeah, which it's kind of led to work from all around the world. I get sent tracks from all over the place. Last week I was doing some stuff from Spain. Recently stuff from Australia. Quite often Ireland. Quite a lot of labels up north of England, that kind of thing. And the local scene.
So you go international with your mixing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What would be your least favourite job so far, which you've had to do?
It's probably retail. Those years were fun though. That was, you know, working in a shop. You know, I didn't mind serving customers and stuff. I didn't even mind the do you mean musical job or
Any job?
I'm going right off on one here. So the music jobs have always been great. Some are horrific. 4, 5 a.m. loading speakers into a van quietly in London to drive home and not wake the neighbours up, or you have to wait to 6 a.m. from the show finishes at 2 and you wait till 6 because you're not allowed to make any noise in the streets that have got lots of money in London. That's quite an interesting dynamic, and you're just sort of staring at a wall for 4 hours, waiting to load up, then drive home. Those are not so fun.
So was that in your DJ career?
So that would be doing live sound, or DJing is not so bad. It's just me and some headphones. But the live sound thing. So you know, flight cases like this rolling down the street and crashing into a van and people shouting and stuff. So they're annoying, those gigs.
Yeah. What about your favourite gig to date so far?
Favourite gig,
or favourite job even?
Favourite job is finishing music for people. I genuinely do enjoy that. I do like to take that bit of music, finish it, artist is happy, label's happy, whatever, and then it gets released. That's quite a nice feeling.
So do you like seeing how it was before to how it's changed now and the progress you've made?
Yeah, sometimes I'm only adding that 2% on top, 5% on top. Sometimes it's 20% better, whatever that means sometimes.
Yeah.
Different set of ears on the music. I guess all things, if I'm drumming, I recently played Victorious, and that was in front of 10 to 15,000 people. Then I was playing percussion, which was hilarious.
Was that on the main stage?
That was not main stage, it was the comedy tent.
Okay.
And it was doing dance music, but with a live band. So you see that crossover I was talking about. That's what that was.
You can go into all sorts of routes.
Yeah, that was great fun because you look out and you can see, you can't see past the people. That's a nice feeling. DJing the same, if you get on stage and you're DJing records that you want to play in a club or something and it's going off, it's great. But likewise, if you play Gangnam Style at a Christmas party and everyone's on the tables and an absolute riot happens, that's also a great reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one I swallow the pride a little bit on that one, but you do a bit of DJing yourself.
Yeah.
You know that when you play those tracks that people want to hear, and as a reaction,
you've got to find the feel for the crowd.
And that's why we're doing it. We play to the crowd. It's not about playing cool stuff that we want to play. So.
It's about playing what the crowd wants and how you can get the crowd more energetic.
Exactly. Yeah, and you'll always get more work like that.
So. Yeah. When you were 18, did you think you would be in this career?
Yes.
Or did you think you would go a different direction?
Yeah, I did. It was 16. I wasn't sure.
Okay.
So just leaving school, let's give music a go for a year on a level 2. Let's see where I go, and I've been here ever since. So I knew it would be something music based, but I wasn't sure where.
Okay.
I was still learning skills in lots of areas. I've always done that from the beginning. I didn't just go, I'm only going to be a drummer. I'm only going to.
You've always been open to different ideas, different types.
I think it's so important.
Different jobs.
Yeah, and so I've tried them all out basically. And then at 18, I was still at college here, and I was like, right, it's something in music. Not sure what it is yet. Maybe I'll go to uni. But then I had an opportunity to work here as a technician, so I took that instead. And did some touring around Europe and things with bands instead of the uni thing, which is cool. What's really handy is those drums right there. So we'll just pause there for a second. Brilliant, natural pause. We could leave this in. We could cut it out. Who knows?
We'll leave it in.
Who knows?
Bit of music, all about the music podcast.
Yeah.
In modern day, are you seeing any trends at the moment in music which are especially spiking?
Oh, blimey. Yeah, well, obviously, independent artists, we've all got an opportunity to be our own record label now. We've all got our opportunity to put our music out there. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not. Because, there is some terrible music out there as well.
Yeah.
We've all heard it, No.
We can all agree on that.
Yeah, but there's some fantastic stuff that would never have got found by a record label. So we're in this real kind of nice part of the industry at the moment where you could write some music, put it out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
And you've just poured a bit of your creativity into the world. Let's see, there's an audience for everything.
Someone's going to find it eventually.
Someone will like it.
Thousands of songs get released on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And yours could just be the lucky one that gets
sure.
found.
So I think that's exciting in the industry. What other things? Technology at home. So for creating your own music and stuff.
Okay.
That is a really good thing.
Just getting into it.
It's shutting studios, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because people think they will be able to do it. But if you've got a room like this.
Brilliant room in here.
With some
speakers, drums,
mid-range microphones and an interface, you can do it.
You can do it.
Yeah. So that's exciting. It's never been as accessible as now. You can have DAWs on your iPad or your Surface or whatever you're using. That's what's exciting at the moment.
Okay.
It's a long way to answer that.
Yeah. Would you say you've had any criticism previously, which instead of being negative, you've taken it into a positive way and turned it into something good?
Every time. Yeah, there's always... You can't stop learning. That feels like a very teacher thing to say, but it's real. In this industry, criticism's good. It's like, okay, do I agree with that? Oh, maybe I do actually. Right, let's change that. Or, I don't agree with that, but the audience are seeing it like that. So what do we do? How do we adapt? How do we change? I think you must stay true to yourself. Don't change for the audience, but they're right quite a lot of the time. So, yeah.
So it's a mix of criticism, but then it all combines together and makes some brilliant music at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been offended by it. We know what a whirlwind of a place the internet could be sometimes in comments and trolls and stuff like that, and people just doing their thing, just trying to disrupt. But sometimes there's some gold in there, and you go, all right, fair enough, I'll have some of that, and I'll change, or not.
So when you started, did you have anyone tell you that you wouldn't make it in the business, or it's going to be a failure? And did you ignore them?
I didn't have that. Parents were supportive. They were like, look, you need to do something you want to enjoy. I think that's really important at college and school and all that kind of thing. My teacher was super supportive. Here's the keys to the music block. Do you know what I mean? It was incredible.
Go experiment.
But I never broke the trust of making sure everything was all right. Didn't mess around. Didn't bring others in. I just did my thing.
Yeah.
So I had support back then. And one of my great mates, he was a year above me at school, and he's an artist out there in the world, international superstar, shall we say. And we both had the same thing. The teacher said, yeah, come and use the gear, do all of that. So, I didn't get that. I was really lucky.
So that's a good thing about your career.
Yeah.
You've had support all the way, people have helped you along the way.
Yeah.
and you've been encouraged.
I mean, we're creatives. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should be encouraged. Yes, there's pressure to get a job and earn money.
Yes.
But maybe there's a way to do both.
Would you say there's been anything in your career which you didn't expect to happen?
Again, teaching. Yeah, that was absolutely not the plan. And what else? I always knew I'd have a studio space, but I guess I didn't realise I'd have my own commercial studio building to run for a while.
Yeah.
I've come back from that now because I was doing so much, and I do have a commercial building, but within the garden at my house kind of thing. It's still professional space, but it's not.
It's out of your personal space.
Yeah, it's not a.
So you can keep
industrial
life
building,
and work separate.
Yeah, it's not industrial building rented every month, that kind of thing. Because of the costs of the industry, less people using studio spaces because studios are a luxury when we're all struggling with the cost of living and all that kind of thing. Yeah, we understand that the studio is a luxury. So.
Yeah, because again, studios cost hundreds to thousands of pounds per day, depending if you go for a small one or a big one like Abbey Road.
Just for the camera, I'll just stopping the drums there. Yeah, if you go to Abbey Road, it's going to be 500 to 1,000 a day, that kind of thing, possibly more.
Yeah.
But they have to do deals as well with independent artists to get people through the door, because today's independent artist will be tomorrow's superstar. So,
what's been your biggest collaboration to date, which you've worked with?
Oh, blimey, that's a hard question. Again, in different areas, I've worked with big DJs. I've done lots of stuff with tour managing and going to Ibiza and things and doing. I've taught in Ibiza, taught a electronic music production course out there for a week, where people spend a lot of money to go on the course. I actually did that with Gary on your previous podcast.
Okay.
We went out there and sort of ran the show kind of thing. Really great experience. I had to mix 16 tracks in 2 days or something.
Whoa.
Didn't sleep much, but we helped them. So that was quite nice. So you collaborate with people all over the world. So teaching, it's that, perhaps. And here, making these courses build, bringing new equipment into the building. You know what I'm like with that. I'm always trying to do that.
New equipment's always fun. Learn how to use it. Make some new music.
Sometimes DJing in front of 50 people is better than 2,000. Depends on the atmosphere. Bands, touring, working as technician, live sound, nice big PA systems, that kind of thing. Or really cool small ones in a pub with a ska band and the whole place is bouncing, the walls are shaking. It's all about atmosphere. I don't think it comes down to who's the best person you've worked with, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been big names, but...
So if you were going to give a bit of advice to someone today starting their career, what would be that one bit of advice you would give them?
Look, don't take it too seriously. Don't think... Oh, this is a two-pronged answer because you have to take things seriously, but... you're probably not going to be a superstar straight away. It takes some effort. It takes some work. Yes, there are people that get found on TikTok and overnight success, but it's a bit like football players or Grand Prix drivers. That's a really small amount of people in the world that get that bit of luck. They just happen to be in the right venue in London when the A&R for Sony or Warner's are in there or something like that. I think it's you just work hard at your craft. Learn lots of things in the industry. Don't specialise in one, and you'll be fine. Yeah,
because I've seen online, sometimes people, as they grow slowly, they get a bigger crowd following.
Yeah.
But then some people that spike overnight eventually crash.
Yeah, and quite quickly sometimes. It's be like, oh, there's a hit, now it's not.
And they've released songs and it's slowly gone down and down.
Yeah, I think you're aiming for, in music, you're aiming for like super fans. People that will always be there for you, will support you, come to your shows. So if you had... Let's pluck a number, 1,000 of those.
Yeah.
You're earning a really good living. 1,000 people that would spend hundreds of pounds a year on you, coming to watch your shows, supporting you, Patreons, YouTube channels, whatever, buy your merch, buy your music, then that's great.
Okay.
You make a living, don't you? If you can, 1,000 people follow you around to shows, it's a really busy building, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even 100 people really supporting what you do. It doesn't have to be millions of streams are lovely on Spotify and things, but of course we'd all like to tick that box. But does it earn? Not really.
No.
Yeah, I think that answered that.
I've got one final question for you today.
Okay.
If you were to start your DJ career or music career again,
Yeah.
and go from day one from building a business,
Yeah.
would there be anything that you would change?
Would I change anything? Genuinely, I don't think I would. We all want the fame and stuff and all that kind of thing, but no, I don't think I would.
You wouldn't?
No, I think it's been an alright path.
Okay.
It's had different directions, but there's nothing I've really gone, never doing that again. The odd gig, I'm like, oh, I don't want a gig here again.
Yeah.
But even the shows where you're playing to no one, there's value in that. You're learning, you're building your craft, you're getting resilient.
Even if there's no one there, you're learning, you're taking on more knowledge, you know how to improve next time.
And you're learning how to cope with the bad as well there. Because it's a rough and a smooth industry, you know.
Sometimes you're going to have
all
ups.
be lovely. Yeah.
Sometimes you have downs.
You could be on a tour bus touring around Europe with a band doing really well to shows of 10, 20,000 people, but you can still have a bad day.
Yeah.
So it is rough and smooth.
Thank you, Kev, for coming on the podcast.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
If you want to hear any of Kev's music, his studio link's going to be above or down below or somewhere.
Great.
Wherever you put them, left, right, centre. BA+. Thank you for listening and goodbye.